They called her cursed the day she was born. When the midwife saw the tiny mark on baby Amara's palm, a spiral shaped like a river shell, she screamed and dropped the child into a basket of dried cassava leaves. "Take her away," the women whispered. "No girl born with the mark of the river should stay in this compound." So while drums welcomed other children, silence followed Amara. By age 16, she cooked for everyone, fetched water for everyone, and ate only when everyone was done. Her stepmother, Mama Bisi, said the same thing every morning. "You were born to serve. Be grateful we let you breathe." But nobody knew the old blind grandmother in the corner hut smiled whenever Amara passed, because she knew a secret buried deeper than the village well. The village of Odukwa sat between thick forest and a wide shining river. Every new moon, elders poured palm wine into the earth and offered kola nuts to honor ancestors. During yam festivals, men danced with carved masks while women sang praises beneath lantern fire. Yet, joy never entered Amara's room. Her father had died years before, leaving her in the hands of Mama Bisi and her proud daughter Zainab, a beauty who wore coral beads and cruelty like perfume. Zainab mocked her daily. "Look at you," she laughed in the marketplace. "Even goats dress better." The market women laughed too. Amara lowered her eyes and carried the basket. Still, she had one dream: to know who her real mother was. Whenever she asked, Mama Bisi's face hardened like burnt clay. "Your mother was nothing. Forget her." But Grandmother Nkem would whisper from her mat, "The moon hides nothing forever." One Harmattan evening, royal messengers entered Odukwa beating bronze gongs. "Hear the king's decree," they shouted. "Prince Obiora will choose a wife during the moonlight gathering. Every unmarried maiden may attend." The village exploded with excitement. Zainab nearly fainted from joy. "I was born for palace life," she said, already measuring beads around her neck. Mama Bisi nodded proudly. "The prince will see your beauty and forget every other face." Then she turned to Amara. "You will stay home and wash pots." Amara smiled sadly. She expected nothing else. But that night, Grandmother Nkem called her close. From beneath her mat, the old woman brought out a wrapper woven with silver thread and a pair of anklets that chimed like soft rain. "These belonged to your mother." Amara froze. "You knew her." "I knew enough." "Who was she?" Before the old woman could answer, Mama Bisi stormed in. "You snake," she shouted, snatching the cloth. "Still feeding this girl lies?" She slapped Amara so hard the room spun. Then she threw the silver wrapper into the cooking fire. Amara cried out as flames swallowed it, but nobody knew the anklets remained hidden beneath grandmother's blanket. That same night, strange things began. Water jars filled by themselves. Fish leaped from the river onto Amara's path, and wherever she walked, the scent of white lilies followed. The villagers murmured, "The river spirits are watching." At the moonlight gathering, drums thundered across the palace square. Maidens arrived in bright wrappers, faces painted with camwood and hope. Amara stayed behind, scrubbing pots in tears. Then Grandmother Nkem appeared at the doorway, standing straighter than she had in years. "Put these on, the anklets. They belonged to your mother. Tonight, truth is calling." Amara hesitated. I have no clothes. The old woman smiled. The river provides. Outside, folded beside the well, lay a gown of blue cloth stitched with pearls no villager could afford. What happened next shocked the village. When Amara entered the palace square, conversations died mid-breath. Even the drums seemed to stumble. Prince Obiora rose slowly from his carved seat. His eyes never left her. Zainab's smile cracked. The prince walked past every decorated maiden and stopped before Amara. Who are you? Before she could answer, Mama Bisi shouted from the crowd. She is a servant, a cursed girl. She tricked her way here. The crowd gasped. Then the oldest palace servant, silent for 20 years, struck his staff on the ground. That is a lie. Even the elders were speechless. The servant bowed before Amara. This girl bears the mark of Queen Ezinne, the king's first wife, the queen who vanished after childbirth. The square erupted. King Danjuma staggered to his feet. My queen died in the flood. The servant's eyes burned. No, your majesty. She was poisoned. He pointed at Mama Bisi. And the child was stolen. Cass swallowed the square. Mama Bisi screamed, lies, lies from an old fool. But grandmother Nkem stepped forward. I was the midwife. The crowd turned. I helped deliver the queen's daughter. I saw the shell mark on her palm. That same night, Mama Bisi bribed guards, poisoned the queen slowly, and claimed the child was cursed. She hid the princess in her own compound to use as a slave. The king trembled with rage. Zainab fell to her knees. Mother, tell them it is false. But Mama Bisi ran. She pushed through the crowd and fled towards the sacred river shrine. Prince Obiora chased after her. Amara followed. So did half the village with torches blazing. They thought it was over. But that was only the beginning. At the riverbank, storm clouds rolled across the moon. Mama Bisi clutched a wooden charm. If I cannot rule through my daughter, none of you will rule. She threw the charm into the river. The water rode upward like a living wall. Children screamed. Men dropped their torches. The river spirit is angry. Villagers cried. Lighting split sky above the shrine stones. Mama Bisi laughed wildly. Yes, take them all. But Amara stepped forward barefoot into the rising water. Everyone shouted for her to stop. Prince Obiora grabbed her wrist. You'll die. She looked at the spiral mark on her palm, now glowing pale blue. No, she whispered. I think this is where I was meant to stand. She raised her hand. The roaring water froze. Silence crashed over the riverbank. Then, from the center of the wave, emerged the shape of a woman clothed in mist and lilies. Queen Ezinne, or something carrying her memory. The spirit pointed at Mama Bisi. Greed borrowed years. The voice thundered. Now, death is due. The water rushed forward, not to drown, but to drag Mama Bisi into the mud before the whole village. Her charms shattered. Her lies were finished. Then the spirit turned to Amara. My daughter, no child marked by truth is cursed. The wave fell gently back into the river. By morning, everything had changed. Mama Bisi was banished beyond the red hills, with nothing but the cloth on her back. Zainab, broken by shame, begged Amara for mercy. I mocked you because I feared you. She wept. Amara could have destroyed her. Instead, she said, Carry your own basket now and learn kindness. Zainab became a worker in the royal farms. Grandmother Nkem was honored with ivory bracelets and a new home near the palace garden. King Danjuma placed the coral crown before Amara. Princess of Odukwa, forgive a blind father. She lifted him up. A kingdom healed is apology enough. Months later, during the Yam festival, Prince Obiora asked for her hand before elders, drummers, and the cheering village. This time, Amara chose freely. And when she entered the palace as bride, the same market women who once laughed now sang her praises until their voices cracked. They buried her as a servant, but truth raised her as a queen. For more stories like this, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.